Hey everybody, I'm back. Video number 70, another milestone today. 70 of 365. My name is Samantha, I'm a therapist, and I decided to do and commit to doing a video every day for a year, every single day, showing up for myself. And I just wanted to know, where are you showing up for yourself today? Behind me, I have changed my meditation music. It used to say inhale confidence, exhale doubt. Now it says inhale worthiness, exhale doubt. Just wanted to change it up a little. Just want to make sure you guys are feeling worthy, because worthy is part of your income. When you're worthy, your income goes up. And do you know what worthiness actually is? Worthiness is actually your income. I learned this from Derek Grant recently. He posted a video where he said, your income is actually your outcome. Your actual income is peace, showing up for yourself, self-worth, worthiness in general, a healthy self-concept, wellness, ease, joy. I'll add all these things to it. Contentment, satisfaction, whatever words we want to put in there. That is your actual income. Make that be your first place where you put your attention on your income, which is bringing in to yourself. Go within, give to yourself. Your outcome will turn into your quote income, which would be financial means, money or abundance in general. But first, it begins with your income. What are you bringing in to yourself? So today I had the pleasure of talking with Joseph Jansen, who's a fellow manifestation YouTuber who talks about manifestation and consciousness and all that fun stuff. And we're going to do a little collaboration on Saturday, which I'm super excited about. And so I think I may be having a short little interview with him, and he's going to do the same thing with me, just like asking a couple questions or something, and then we'll do a conversation together. And so that'll be happening Saturday, and we'll get that posted at some point a few days after, maybe. But I was talking to him, and it was awesome talking to somebody that's on the same wavelength, because I really haven't talked to too many people that are that know this stuff about manifesting and all of that. I just see a lot of people on, social media and stuff talking about it. But yeah, we had a wonderful conversation for about an hour, and we were talking about all kinds of stuff. But basically, what you believe is what is. So if your beliefs are stuck, what I call in the toilet, they're stuck in the toilet, they're stuck in the void, they're stuck in the swamp. They're in swampland. When your beliefs are there, you're seeing through the lens of those beliefs. So you can't really see or perceive anything else as different than what you're seeing it as. Sorry, I think I have a cat hair again. This never happens when I'm just sitting here not filming. Every time I'm filming, it seems like. So, but yeah, we just chatted a lot about, specific person, like I did yesterday in my video, how sometimes you find that, and this isn't just with a specific person, this is with a job, or just like I was kind of talking about yesterday, a job, or you think you want a certain car or some item or whatever, and you think you're going to be happy when you have it. And it's like, no, like it's so funny that when you actually do get that thing or that person or that job, you take yourself with you wherever you go. So if you are not okay, then you're still not going to be okay when you get that thing. And I heard Eileen Wilder say, there is no there. There is no there. Your there is right now. So what are you doing with your thoughts right now? Where are they going? What are you conscious of? Because whatever you're conscious of, that's all that you can see. You're looking through the lens of your comfort zone, maybe. You're looking through the lens of, I can't do this. Looking through the lens of, they did this to me, so I feel this way because they did this to me. That's a big one. I was there. I know. I'm going to call everybody out because, well, I had to call myself out. And I know how important it is to do that because that helps you get everything you want. But really, if we get back to the simple basics, we want things because we think we're going to feel better when we have them. So if you can generate a feeling of feeling better now without having something, what's crazy is that stuff starts to flow in. And then you just get it and it just feels natural to you. It is the craziest thing, but it really does work that way. That's how energy works. It's like if you're trying to force something, it's pushing, literally that energy is pushing it away. It's holding it away in a holding pattern almost, even a person. And you know what it feels like when somebody puts pressure on you. You can actually feel it. And so when you just release, let go, and put all your energy into yourself and build a good self-concept and a concept of self, all of the above, peace, you create peace within. How do you create peace within? How do you create worthiness? That's a really good question that I've had people ask, like, how do you create worthiness? And I'm going to throw that back at you. What do you think? How do you do that? Like, really think about that before I kind of go into it. What does cause worthiness? What does worthiness even mean? To me, it means I see myself this certain way and I am deserving of anything that I want. I am great enough the way that I am, perfect, whole, and complete right now. That's worthy to me. It's you're valuable just as you are. Now, of course, as humans, we want to excel and we want to evolve and enlighten and all of these things. And Bashar jokes about how if you want to be enlightened, you got to lighten up. You better lighten up. If you don't lighten up, you can't get enlightened. Lightening up helps you let go. So try to lighten up every now and again. Practice lightening up. To do that, you can watch comedy shows. I think laughter is really important. Really important. I don't think that gets talked about enough. Laughter is really the best medicine, the best therapy. Turn on some Seinfeld if you're into that. Some old Seinfeld. I recently saw a bunch of clips of King of Queens. Oh my gosh. My ex-husband and I used to watch that all the time, and that is the funniest show. I just love it. I still laugh at it to this day. And some funny movies. Just put on something that really makes you laugh. Something from like, for me, it's like the early 2000s, somewhere around there. Those were like in the late 90s. Some of those movies were just like awesome. So maybe put something on that causes nostalgia, just generate that feeling that you're needing and wanting. And it's a practice. Remember, this is a practice. So each day, if you want to follow my videos, you're more than welcome. I would love that because each day I'll talk and rant about something. And maybe you'll hear something that will build upon each video I've done. But you really just have to remember what you're trying to do is you're trying to live a joyful life. That's really all that you have to do. And then you figure out, well, what brings me joy? What truly brings me joy? Sometimes we don't even know. And sometimes I think we're trying to become ourselves, but we're so buried by all these expectations that people have put upon us, or really that we put upon ourselves. And we're just covered and buried by these things. And so I think it's really important to just unbury yourself. Ask yourself questions. Who am I? What am I doing here? Get real curious. Joseph Jansen said, I think was it Jim Rohn or it might have been Brian Tracy. I can't remember which one he said, but they said, if you ever can't find out the answer to a question that you're looking for, sit in silence for 30 minutes and the answer will come. Your self knows the answers to everything, literally. And sometimes I feel like we don't know who we are. And so I think that each experience we have teaches us more about who we are. That's really all that it's for. It's just to show us more of ourselves, really. And the more you know about yourself, the more you're able to master you, which can give you everything you're wanting. Because if you are aware of you and where your consciousness is and where your thoughts and beliefs are, you've got the key to the kingdom. The kingdom is inside of you. So you got the keys to open up that kingdom. And that's the magical part about all this. It's like you hold the key at all times. You decide what goes. You have to literally, all you have to do is hold a belief and don't waver from it. Persist in it. Keep going. Keep believing it until it hardens into fact, like Neville says. It will harden into fact because all of a sudden you'll feel like, hey, I actually do believe that now. That feels a little lighter for me today. And some of you and a lot of people I know are so I want to say buried in the negative thinking that the seemingly impossible isn't possible. And it's like anything is possible. All potentials exist. What if that's true? So then you can shift your thoughts into, well, what if this is true? What if I could start actually believing this or thinking this way? What would happen in my life? That's what I started doing. I started saying, what if I could believe this? What if this stuff is true? And then what if I actually started to shift my thoughts and beliefs this way? What would that attract in my life? And how would I feel? And it really inspired me to do that because I wanted to see how powerful I was, really. That's the main thing. And I think it's just fun to like test your power and deliberately practice new thoughts and see what happens. You just never know. Become your own evidence, like I say. Become your own evidence. Create your own experiments. Test this out with people. Your imagination is creating everything. That's your perception. We're imagining negative things all the time because everything that you're thinking, you're imagining. If you didn't know that, everything you're thinking, you're imagining it. Because when you have a thought, it's like you could see that person you're thinking about. You can see yourself. If you're thinking about yourself, you can think about all these memories you've had. Like those are just, you're imagining a snapshot basically in your life, like a situation. There's a snapshot, like a picture, and you're imagining that right now. And so your brain and body, of course, don't know the difference whether it's real or not. So, but you're generating feelings that go along with that imagined, whatever you're imagining right now. And that's why we have anxiety, because we'll create like scenes in our head basically where we think of something and it causes us anxiety. And if we didn't think that, we wouldn't have the anxiety. It literally is that simple. It's just that we create this scene in our mind and it triggers us and it reminds us of some other thing, or our body remembers what it felt like when you experienced that thing that happened to you. So we have to really be, as humans, we have to be really cognizant and present with what am I thinking? What am I believing? What am I feeling? Where do I feel it in my body? And eventually, when you get better at this, you don't have to do all that. It's just like you just shift and boom, you're feeling better. And you're like, whoa, I actually do feel better. And it just takes some practice. And you have to train the animal of your mind. You have to train it because it's just going to run all over the place unless you tell it to sit and be still and be present. And don't forget your treat. You got to give yourself some treats every now and again. That's the best part of it. What really the best part is, you just feel better. You start to feel really great. And then you start to be like, wow, I don't really need anything to make me feel good. This is awesome. That's the best place to be. I will say that, self-worth is priceless. If you have material items, that's cool. But like if you lack the emotional, like if you're emotionally bankrupt and you don't feel good about yourself, that stuff on the outside is never going to make you feel good. You have to create that internal foundation for yourself, because you take yourself with you wherever you go, no matter what. You will create the same circumstances. If you're the same, you're going to get the same. But if something changes, then something changes. What a novel idea. Something changes, something changes. You have to You can't have there's always a cause and effect. You can't just have an effect, cause and effect. Like you have to have a cause and then an effect. And that's what you'll see show up. You have to change something in order to see a different reflection. Like if you look in the mirror and you're smiling, you're not going to see a frown until you frown, and then you're going to see the frown. So it's like you change your internal world, you go within, and you decide who you want to be instead of what you've been doing and being. And you have to almost deny kind of what's going on in front of you and stick to your vision. Like I've said before, there's self 1 and self 2. Which self are you being today? Are you being the old self or the self that's going to feel better? Because you cannot feel better if you're trying to change this old self. You got to basically kill that identity off to where you've got this new identity that's emerging. And I think some people are scared of that too. They're like, what's going to happen in my life? And so that holds you back sometimes too, like a fear of actually feeling good. Because then if you feel good, what if somebody takes it away? That's the beauty of all this. You're doing it to yourself. You're creating it so you can create a bad scenario or you can create great scenarios. And you get to choose how you feel at any moment. And I really wish they would have taught this in school when we were young. That I think emotional regulation and feelings, that should have been just curriculum that we had from, K through 12, not just an elective. Like that should have been very important. And then it would have been great to have something like that, in college too, I feel. That's just kind of, I don't know, that's just like how to prevent a divorce and all that kind of stuff. How to properly discuss uncomfortable situations or whatever with your partner or with friends, or assertiveness, just all these things that we need to know. And worthiness is huge, of course. But I think going back to the beginning where I said, your income is actually your outcome. Your income is income, meaning money. You got your income that you're pumping yourself full of, and then you've got income as far as money. But we need to call income that's money, actually, that's our outcome. That's a byproduct. Everything coming outside of you is a byproduct of what you're doing inside. So remember to always go within, check out where you're at during your day. Which self am I being? Am I being the old self or the new self? Which one feels better? I know the new self's got to feel better. The old self can't feel too good. So you just got to say, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can have anything I want. I am perfect, whole, and complete. I am amazing. I'm powerful. I am better than anyone because this is my reality. I'm the best. I'm the best because it's only me in this reality that I'm creating. This is me perceiving everything. How am I choosing to perceive this today? How am I choosing to perceive this person? And remember, there is no there. Like when I get there, I'll be happy. Or when I get there, then this will happen. Or I'll feel this way or whatever. There is no there. You're already there. This is there. And you're going to feel awesome whenever that other stuff that you thought was over there is actually right here. It comes right to you. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything, hardly. You just have to change your identity. What are you believing? What are you seeing out there that you're believing? Because you're projecting this out. So you can't get mad at the mirror because you're projecting it out. So just change the mirror. Change your internal world. Start thinking thoughts that may not make sense to you at first. And then say, well, what if this could make sense? What if I could do this? What would happen? What if I could start feeling better every day? What if I didn't live with anxiety every day? What if I laughed every day? What if I had a great relationship with my partner every day? How would that feel? How would it feel if I loved my job? How would it feel if you're a caretaker to your parents or someone else? How would it feel if I felt stress-free in my caretaking responsibilities? Parenting. How would it feel if I were the best parent in the world? What if I already am the best parent in the world? What if I am the best partner in the world? What if I already am making $1 million in my business? What if? How would that feel? Whatever it is that you're wanting, think about that. And who do you want to be? What if your self-worth were at 100%? What would that feel like? How great would that feel? How great would it feel to be at peace? And back to how to create peace. Peace, I think peace is almost a byproduct of worthiness in a way. I think a lot of those things are byproducts of worthiness. And I think that creating worthiness is one of the key ways I feel is definitely watching what you're saying to yourself. Be kind. So being kind to yourself first, because you got to start a foundation. You can't, I guess you could just say, I'm worthy. You could just start saying that if you wanted to. But I think a lot of people want to learn how to do the process, I guess. So you could jump to I'm worthy and start living that way, or you could start doing the actions that line up with that identity, which would be, I'm going to speak nicely to myself. I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm going to take care of my mind and body, whatever that means to you. I'm going to show up for myself. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. That's a big one, I think, that we give ourselves passes. And we say, I don't feel like doing that today. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow turns into like 6 months from now, and then we still haven't done it. And I think that really contributes to depression and anxiety because we're not being our true self. So remember that every time you tell yourself no, you're saying yes to something else that may not be for your greatest, good. So really think about all these things. I know that's kind of a lot I dropped on you, but yeah, I think peace is a byproduct of worthiness. There's a lot of things that you can do to feel worthy, but I think the main thing is committing to yourself that you already are worthy, knowing that you're already whole and complete the way that you are, and you've just been programmed to think and believe that you're not. So what if you could just program that in, that you actually are worthy? What would that feel like? And me telling you, you are worthy, what does that feel like to you? You are worthy. You are worthy the way that you are. You're perfect, whole, complete as you are. What does that feel like to you? Think about that for a minute. How does that feel to have somebody tell you you're already worthy? Your brain might be saying, no, I'm not. I'm not. I don't even know what that feels like. Now is the time to practice. What would that feel like? How great would that feel? And then what's the byproduct of worthiness? Well, it's money. Like Derek Grant said, it's like, that's your outcome. Your outcome starts from your income. I love that. That was great that I saw that video today. I just thought that was amazing. Let me see if there's any other gems I can drop really quick. Be in now energy instead of someday energy. That's a good one. This is happening now, not someday. If we say, I'm going to do that someday, or when that happens someday, no, be in now energy. You're in the now, right now. So it's happening now. If you say it's happening now, it's happening now. Whatever you believe is happening now. If you believe you have to do this, this, and this to get this, this, and this, you're right. Everything you say, you're right. Keep that in mind too. Be careful about what you say because you're right no matter what. So keep that in mind. I think I'll end because I've got so many things I can go into, but I'll save the rest for tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and about 300 more days. So thank you all for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, share this with somebody that you think might benefit from this message today. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.